Okay, so obviously I'm not going to scream, but I thought this was a topic that needed to be brought up with regards to Bannerlord, and I was interested to see what your opinions were on the matter. Also, if the game is going to be getting a full release or a console release on the October date that we have had a lot of rumors about, I thought this was an interesting thing to bring up and kind of start maybe making videos like this and giving my opinion on these small details that could probably quite easily be changed in some way or another, which would make the game, in my opinion, much better. So this video is all about noble recruits. I think it is far too easy to go ahead and recruit noble troops right now in the game of Bannerlord. We're currently playing on 1.8.0. So not so long ago, they made it so that you could go ahead and recruit any noble troops from castles. That is awesome. It's great that castles now have a bit more of a larger purpose to them, and being able to recruit noble troops from them is great. However, this is the beginning of the game. I have just loaded up a completely fresh save as Britannia. I've run down here to the castle. I could have probably just gone more to the other castles around here as well, but I decided to come over here, and I can just go ahead and recruit what is arguably one of the best units in the game. You know, at first, this noble troop won't be very hard to go ahead and level up. He's an archer. The units you're fighting at the beginning of the game don't have shields, so you're just going to be slaughtering looters, and that's not going to make it too hard to level up. If you get involved in any larger scale battles, again, they're archers, so you sit them back, and you can unlock the best unit, which is arguably the best unit in the game, extremely quickly by doing this. And it doesn't even cost you much. Look at this. The wages of this soldier is 3 gold. The next one is 5, and then you end up going up to the Battalion Thanes, which is 17, which can kind of rack up. But say you've got 20 of these guys in your army, because again, I think your unit cap starts off at 20 at tier 1, you're 22, so you've got just over 20 soldiers, including yourself. You know, your wages are going to be, what, 200, 300, and what, 60, 340? I don't know, maths is hard. And you've got the best army in the game right away at the beginning of the game. That kind of just seems a bit crazy to me, don't you guys think? Like, obviously you also have to recruit, which is 50 gold. But honestly, it's not going to be hard for me to go ahead and recruit all these noble soldiers if I'm just patient. I go here, there you go, I've got 4 of them right off the bat. I'm going to make my way over. And recruiting like elite soldiers isn't hard to do. You know, isn't expensive. And, you know, kind of just moving around and making money. Like, you could argue about, oh yeah, money's probably going to be a bit of an issue for you. But it really isn't. Money is quite easy to make, at least in the early game when you don't have a huge army, and if you have the best army in the game, it's just super efficient to go ahead and do this and unlock the noble troops. Again, I mean, they just beat me there, but if I was patient, and I could just kind of basically do this circuit over and over again, just kind of coming down here, obviously avoiding the looters. But to be fair, I could easily fight this battle. I could just run in circles as they chase me down. I'm just going to TP so they don't catch me. But yeah, I could run in circles and kill them and just level up all my elite soldiers extremely easily. And yeah, like boom, another 3 right there. Again, it's costing me money, but I'll be killing looters and other stuff as I do this. So that's the problem. The problem is noble troops are far too easy to recruit at the moment. Now, there are a few things, and you know, I'm not going to come in here and just say the problems about any solutions, and let me know what you guys think of these solutions down below in the comments. I'd be interested to see your takes on it, and also let me know if you think this is even a problem. It's like, Jackie, shut up, you old man. I just want to go ahead and get some Battalion Thanes and slaughter everything, and that's completely fine. But yeah, so, a few things. Some things you could do is just cap them behind quests, cap them behind certain relations, but you know, they're basically already capped behind a relationship tier anyway, right? Because you can only recruit so many depending on how many of these guys like you. Granted, if you really wanted to, you could just go down here, change the recruitment difficulty to very easy, and then recruit Battalion Thanes even quicker. Like, this is just vanilla, right? You can recruit this many, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, a few ways is just, again, make it so that maybe noble troops only appear in these last, like, 4 slots, or 6 slots right here. 2 at the top, 2 in the middle, and 2 at the bottom. That is a quite an easy way to do it. You could also make it so that you could only recruit, if you join a faction, you can only recruit noble soldiers when you join that faction. I think that's a really good idea. You know, again, it kind of locks you in of like, I'm going to go and fight for this faction, and then we get access to their elite soldiers. I think that's really cool. Again, there's some problems with that, right? Because Bannerlord is all about mixing and matching all these soldiers from across Calradia to make the ultimate army. It kind of takes away from that, because then you can't have these soldiers soldiers stuck in that way, because you're locked into the faction you chose, or the culture you chose, or the kingdom culture you chose if you form your own kingdom, which again, that does kind of suck. There is a few other mods out there as well that do this and kind of do this in a cool way. For example, the Old Realms mod, which is the Warhammer Overhaul mod that's recently had a couple betas, they go ahead and cap the Regiments of Renown. They have these special units called Regiments of Renown, which are like special takes on swordsmen, infantry, mages, gunners, etc, etc. And the way that they do it is they do it so that when you have to be a certain renowned rank, which again I think is much better than the current system, where I could just go into the Sturgian province and start recruiting elite noble Sturgians who don't even cost that much. You know, like 17 gold for a tier 6 cavalry, sure. You know, even at tier 1 I could afford that. So yeah, I like the way they do it in the Old Realms mod, where they do cap it to your renown, but you have to be renowned rank 2 or 3, and then it costs money and time to go ahead and get them, and they're not constantly refreshable. You know, you do it and you have to wait like 10 days to get another set, and obviously other people can take them as well. So they're pretty rare, which is cool, and the units themselves are really strong. Another way, of course, is just to make them more expensive, like increase the upkeep costs, make these way more expensive. I imagine that also has some kind of downsides, of course, because now the AI has more expensive armies it has to manage, but the AI cheats, so I'm sure it can get over it. Yeah, just make these way more expensive to upkeep. Make them so that, you know, instead of 3 gold wages for a tier 2, it's, you know, it's doubled, it's tripled. And then it means that you're going to be able to very rarely, unless you're like really going for a strong economy game, be able to get these guys right off the bat. I think that's definitely one way around it. That's probably one of the easiest ways, is just to up their wages that little bit more and make the noble troops actually feel like noble troops. But even then, they don't really feel like noble troops, right? They don't feel like they're these elite army soldiers. You know, you're just going to a village and grabbing them. So another thing I propose is make them directly recruitable from a castle, you know. Make it so that, you know, the villages around them just produce normal soldiers, and maybe you have to go to the castle, you have to talk to one of the soldiers here or something, maybe do some quests for him, and then you progress through and unlock that noble troop line. I think that'd be a really cool way of doing it, is you have to maybe, even if you maybe have to do some quests for a faction leader, and he's like, yeah, okay, you're a pretty chill dude, you can have access to my noble troop line, and then maybe you just come here, you click recruit, and you can recruit directly from these castles, and that's where you get the noble troop line. But until you have that relationship, or you've done some quests for them, you know, you're not going to have access to that. Again, I think that's a very simple way of fixing the issue of being able to recruit these elite soldiers right off the bat. Again, if we go here, oh, didn't mean to click that. If we go here again, oh, these are Beelzebub recruits. Are these an upper castle? I guess this is an upper castle. I thought it was. I mean, this one will be. Oh, don't attack me. You're scared of me because I am a god. Yeah, boom. Look at that. Just some more. I've got an entire elite army. I don't have enough money because I've been running around. But you get the point. You get the gist of it, which is interesting. Now, another thing that recently has been kind of in development in another kind of interesting way around this is also the new Eagle Rising system. So Eagle Rising has this brand new system where you press a button. I'll be putting it up on your screen right now. And you can upgrade your tier 6 soldiers into the specific super good soldiers. I think they have like Centurions, they have Optios, they have flag banner carriers, they have Praetorian Guards, which you can upgrade your tier 6 infantry into. I think that's a very interesting and unique idea, right? Your soldiers rise to the top of the power ranking. They've kind of accumulated their experience. They're a veteran of the war, and then you go ahead and promote them, and now you have these even better soldiers, but you have to have them tier 6s first. I think that's a really cool idea because it basically forces you to have to level up an army, level up a troop line to tier 5 or tier 6, so you'd have to have Imperial Legionaries, and then you'd have to then invest even more money in them to then upgrade them into these special units. And again, they don't always have to be, you know, a Centurion or an Optio, you know, you could just have it so like veteran legionary, and that's what you can upgrade them into, and that's the noble troop line, you know, something along them lines. I think would be really, really cool, having that access to kind of progress yourself from the basic tiers to the nobles. Again, I think that is a great idea. So that's kind of just my little rant. I wanted to make this video because, again, I feel like it's just so stupid about just how easy it is to recruit an entire army. Like, again, I could just get all of... It's not them. I could just get all these guys right off the bat. Again, if I was fighting battles, it wouldn't be hard. I've got an entire noble army for literally no use. It's going to be super easy to level these up as long as I'm just picking my smart fights. It's also going to be really easy as well to grind renown with this. Like, this is always the smartest thing to do, is just get an entire army of Britannian Bane. campaigns and fight harder battles, and then just kite the AI around. Oh, I'm no longer generous. How? Oh, because I'm probably black broke and my army's starving. That would make a lot of sense. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this. Do you agree with me? Do you think that noble troops are far too accessible? We gave some of our opinions of, like, you know, locking them to the last couple slots of recruitment, making it so that you have to be in a faction to go ahead and unlock them, having the cool ways that